Welcome to my Aspire Ina's Tale review. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button to be kept up to date with my latest content. Welcome Switchheads, thank you for joining me and I hope you're all well. Now on with the show. And from the start of Aspire you kind of get the feeling that the devs have put some work into it. It really does look great on the Switch with its use of reflections off and through objects. And also through the really cool use of set pieces and kind of like backgrounds with huge swords and those who wielded them in some horrific battle. And this carries on through the game, right down to these memory stones and some activating huge like robots in which I'm just going to let you discover them on your own. And that's mainly because you'll get the same wow feeling I did. You are welcome. For me, the game kind of dripped atmosphere, backed up with some great moody music and sound effects. The story is one of escape and discovery as you play through the game, finding out more and more, and even some hidden-ish go explore a little bit. These places with more lore attached to them. As for that gameplay, well, it really goes something like this. Platform, and trust me, there's enough to keep most happy, and anyone who has played Limbo, remember that game? Will feel at home here. Then there's the chase segments, running away from creatures, and even these can have puzzle elements to them as well. And with that in mind, well, the puzzle elements, using ropes, crates, lanterns to operate gates with its light or spirit mechanics. To my mind, it all worked quite well, and well, there is also these bits where you interact with NPCs and basically it gives you like multiple questions in there, which kind of like added to the story and also broke up the gameplay in a positive way as well. Luckily enough, I did find the game hard and challenging at times, which is definitely a good thing, but it wasn't all rosy. In fact, I felt the controls let it down ever so slightly. Multiple times when I've tried to pick a lantern up or something, you have to be standing in the exact right place, otherwise she just doesn't interact with it. And also when you're putting your spirit into things, sometimes it would have the same effect unless you actually press the button just right. It just doesn't do anything. And although these weren't game breakers, it kind of like just drew you out of the game here and there and just felt a bit awkward at times. I also felt that the initial load into the game felt really long, and also when you have to go back to a checkpoint I felt it was a tiny bit long there as well. Although this could literally just be me wanting to get back into the game straight away though. And lastly, on the slightly negative side, there was a little bit of stuttering here and there, almost like the frame rate had dropped just a bit, but this didn't really happen that often, but it was noticeable when it did. The game's about 5 hours long, depending on how good you are. You know, that could be stretched out a little bit, obviously. But I have to say, I did feel like it was worth the monies that they were asking for it. And I'm kind of glad that it was short and didn't try to like buffer itself with things and outstay its welcome, which definitely would have had a negative effect on the gameplay. The good. It's atmospheric, great use of puzzle platforming. I enjoyed my time here. The bad. Controls need a tweak here and there. I felt the writing was a little bit too small in handheld mode, and I struggled a little bit to read it. But the other negatives I said earlier weren't really that bad to be put onto the, well, as it's Christmas, naughty list. And with that, I'm going to be heading into the score. And with that, I'm going to give Aspire a great big 4 out of 5. I enjoyed it, and although it was not a fast-paced game, I liked the pace and I felt it really was relaxing with some nice little puzzling in there too. And as for my alternative, I hear you cry, or not, as the case may be, I'm going to suggest, well, no surprise here, Limbo. Yes, it does have similarities to Limbo, and when I played Limbo, I really enjoyed it. One of the differences between the two games is obviously Limbo was creepy as hell. But I definitely think if you have enjoyed Aspire, you definitely want to be heading over to Limbo next. And so, what are your thoughts on Aspire? Are you going to be picking it up or not? And also, if you got a better alternative than Limbo, then leave it all down in the comments. That's after all where it belongs, and I try to answer as many as I can. And also, if you've made it this far, why not hit that like and subscribe button to keep yourself up to date with more of my content. You'll also be helping the channel out immensely if you hit that like button to help along with the YouTube algorithm. And if you're not subscribed, obviously subscribe. But if you want to take things even further, come join us in our community Discord, because, well, we're just like-minded people that like to chat about our favourite things, the Nintendo Switch. Because life is better when we switch together.